recording. Brilliant. I feel miles better. So, welcome back guys to the channel. It's your boy as ever, British Chap aka Dan, and we're finishing Gracepoint. Now, I'm going to try and finish this today, and the reason being is I'm jumping the horn. Let me just say, like I said, welcome back. First things first, I want to say thank you for being patient. I've been unwell. I've had COVID. I recovered from it. I feel way better. I don't even think I sound sick anymore. Maybe just a little bit. Point is I feel good enough to record, which means the last week of me being in New Zealand is going to be jam-packed, I imagine, with recording things ready to move over. And not just that, but also to make sure that I've got stuff to upload when I'm going to be busy moving. Because I highly doubt it that during the first week of being in England, I'm going to be uploading much. And if I do, it's going to be like purely Luton or vloggy stuff. It's not going to be reactions because I won't have time to do them. I found out recently that I can't screen record Gracepoint on the Mac. Like, I tried it, and I'm glad I did, because ultimately it's amazing editing. Like, I recommend this to everyone if you are looking for a computer that can do stuff like this, or editing or heavy duty projects. That is a laptop. Yes, it's a laptop, so it does have its deficiencies, but if you're looking for that, this is fantastic. But it has its own little like copyright walls, which technically what I'm doing isn't copyright violation, right? Because I'm not making money from it. I'm commentating on it and all that sort of nonsense. But they don't know that, so I can't screen record Gracepoint through this computer's DVD section. I have to do it on this one, which means I have to finish it before I leave. All things considered, it's not a horrible thing, right? It means you guys get 2 episodes coming very, very soon, and we get to finish the series, which I'm really excited to do. But yeah, it's been a little while since I watched the last one, but at the same time, I just edited the last one yesterday, and I'm sort of watching the previews and stuff, so I do remember what happened. It's quite vivid in my mind. I think just as a general recap, like, I'm pretty confirmed almost that my theory about Joe is going to come to fruition, that he is the one that did it. There's just going to be a slightly different sort of way it happens. Like, you know, like the way it happens, the motive potentially, it's going to be slightly different. We already know that because of the way he died, but I'm talking like a bit more detailed. Yeah, otherwise it literally is carbon copy, which I've already sort of expressed my views on that. I'll express it again at the end of the reaction series, but yeah, that's what happened. And we sort of had this scene when like Joe, well, I think it's Joe, smashed out of the cabin when he sees Ellie, and you think, yeah, well, it's the same as Broadchurch, so it must be Joe, right? And you start to think, okay, yeah, so it's confirming now. So I'm expecting this episode, we're going to get at least some massive, you know, thing happen, or it might leave us on the cliffhanger of like, the phone's on, go and find it sort of thing. It may do that, I don't know. But the point is, we're up to episode 9 now, guys, and we'll probably finish this by the end of the day. So, hope you enjoy the video. Let's get straight into it.
You nearly died on me. You need an operation.
Oh, isn't this the same when she was just holding grapes?
I won't let it.
It already has. We lost our suspect because you collapsed.
You lost him. You didn't need to stop.
Wow.
We're nearly there, Miller. Male suspect.
Right
Me
there.
and Bill. Don't leave, Miller.
Miller.
Don't leave, Miller.
Miller.
Wait.
Miller. God damn it, it's not as good.
That's a Miller.
Go through our list of people of interest. Questionable alibis on the night of Danny's death. Knock on their doors and find out
Still
where they were
haven't looked
last
into
night.
Joe
We think
at
the killer
all, which
was
I think
there.
is
We were
crazy,
close.
you know?
The boss was taken to the hospital last night. I don't know when he'll be back. We cannot let ourselves be distracted by this.
And the people you love the most, you can't trust.
You mean someone specific?
See, I
What do you
still,
mean you can't trust?
I don't think it's going to be Paul, but like,
with Gemma Fisher.
the thing, right, this reaction series is very unique in the sense that it's not really like a shock reaction series, it's very much a comparison. So, all I'm saying is, at this time, I remember feeling like I had an idea of who it was. Like, I kind of predicted season 1 of Broadchurch, like, and I'm not saying it wasn't lucky, but how do I describe this? It wasn't like I was certain, you know, I was still shocked when it happened, but how she's feeling, like, the feeling like she can't trust anyone, that's how I feel inside, because I'm like, well, I can think of scenarios where it could be Paul, where it could be Mark, where it could be Joe, you know, I can think of scenarios where it could be any of these people, and it'd be a valid motive or scenario, you know, if something just came out, so I can understand how she feels. And the thing is that led, I'm pretty sure from memory, that distrust and where that crumbled to at this point led them to the downfall of their marriage. I kind of don't think we're going to get much of an explanation into that. Because in Broadchurch, you sort of, I want to say it happens in season 2. I think in season 1 it's just they're together. I think in season 2 is the part when you see it continue to, like, I don't know. I'm kind of gutted. Even though I've already seen Broadchurch season blah, 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 and it probably would have been similar, I'm still gutted that this is stopping.
It's alright. Come here.
I'm scared.
And I still don't trust him as well, because he's got a motive beyond just being there as the vicar, right? He's got a motive to be there as a love interest. That's what concerns me about him. There's a huge difference between their characters. Ooh.
Don't start, Miller.
You can't be here.
And yet I am.
You're gonna kill yourself.
If that's what it takes, then you'll get my
Come
job.
on, Emmett.
Like you've always wanted.
When she sees your medical records in the morning, you're done. You have until then to tie up any loose ends. Why take this job if you
So basically
sick?
one day. One day.
Hold up, sir.
Oh, wow. And he's going to react badly, thinking that something's happened.
Your fingerprints are all over it, as are Danny's. There are flecks of skateboard paint in your closet.
Exactly.
Now,
Why was it there?
what were you doing on the beach next to Danny's body?
We went up the hill from the trailer park out onto the cliff. When we got up there, I saw it down on the beach.
So what?
Why not call anyone? That's
Boy's
the first
body
thing.
lying there.
And then what did you do?
Had some cigarette.
Had a cigarette.
So weird, eh? Who
Then
does
another.
that? I always thought that was a bit... Seems beautiful. Ooh. How... I don't see the resemblance. Like, in Broadchurch, there's a clear resemblance between Joe and Nigel. Like, it's night. Like, they look the same. Like, if you were walking around at night time, you would see that they look the same, right? And then we get the confirmation from Ali's sister or something that says that there was a bald man putting clothes in a bin or something, and it looked like him. And then there was this whole court case, like, could it be him? Like, you know, like, it was like, that's what confuses me, is I don't see the resemblance between Joe and Nigel that much in the series. No more than any normal sort of resemblance, like a male this height, this age.
No, she's just about to go. Let's hear, about Danny Solano.
Yeah, what exactly do you have to say?
About Detective Carver.
Oh.
You have 1 minute. He collapsed on the job. Now he's discharged himself.
And you're just letting this go?
Gosh almighty, and then they go after him. I remember, like, they sort of... For some reason I remember he did, like, an exclusive interview, and it was for some... Was it an exchange for something?
Sir.
I can't remember.
You people destroyed my family.
Oh, see, so it is the... Yeah. I can't remember exactly what happened, though.
Doesn't matter.
It does to me.
He used to have sex with the older one.
That's right, yes.
I didn't know. Then
yeah.
he tried it with the little one.
Oh. Oh. They're setting it up. They're setting it up. You know why? Because this this exact scene, I remember she said something to Ellie in Broadchurch, and she said she didn't know about it. I mean, she was sort of like scrutinized, and I don't know what happened. Did he die? I think he may have died, and she was the one that got the flack or something. I don't know. Something happened like that, right? The thing I find crazy is, like, I think Ellie says this one line to her. She goes, "How could you not know? You were his wife." Oh. It's setting up the same thing. I mean, I don't know, I get excited about that because it's not exactly the happiest of things, but I think it's just cool. I'm fanboying right now. There was a scene when, I think Beth said to Ellie, like, "How could you not know?" And then Ellie was like, and she could understand to an extent.
She got herself killed.
Oh, that's right.
He told me she ran away with
Yeah.
her boyfriend.
He killed the old
After a
daughter
while,
protecting.
your
Yep.
kind started asking questions.
And she got
charged him with
scrutinized,
murder.
right?
He told them I knew that I was a part of it.
Wow. And then she just doesn't trust police whatsoever.
Looking at that boy's body on the beach, wondering if my girl looked that peaceful after he killed her.
For God's sakes, that's heartbreaking, man. But the thing is, he
bet she
wasn't that
did.
peaceful. He was displayed.
I was trying to figure out what you're doing over there in the middle of the day in his apartment.
Bro, yo, Mark, you have no right to be pissed. Come on, like, for a start, you don't know she did anything. We don't know that either. I don't think she did. And not just that, you literally did what you're accusing her of doing. And tried to make it out that you needed some connection. And it was like, you know, I remember feeling annoyed at Mark at this point, but I do love Mark though, don't get me wrong.
What else tell him? Tell him about Gemma?
He's getting way...
Now he's gonna act all holy while he's trying to get in your pants.
He's not trying to get...
Yeah, and he's looking to break us up.
Oh my God, if you would please just listen. Mark, I love you. Don't you get that? Oh my God, I don't care. I do not care. I don't
You see, she loves you, man. Come on.
You look healed, walking well.
Can I please have my computer back?
It's sitting in my office. I haven't been sure what to do with it.
How about you just give it back?
Take it to the police. That's
Have you
right.
talked to your mom about why you were smashing it?
He sends horrible emails to Danny, and then like there's this whole scene when he gets called back for an interview. I'm just remembering this. It's all flooding back to me. He gets called back for an interview, and he's sort of saying like, it's just, I was mad, I was this, I was that, he hates him for this, and then you sort of brushed off like, okay, it makes sense, like kids have rows, right? And then he's like asking about his shoe size, because they had like found a footprint or something. Although we didn't find a footprint though, did we? So are we going to get that scene? Because there was like a scene when he's like, what size shoe are you? And he's like, what about you, Joe? And then there's the moment when he's like, 10, and you're like,
I'll have to have a talk with your mom. Or Detective Carver.
You do that and I'll tell them you hit Danny on the camping trip.
oh.
How you feeling?
Why?
Since you left the hospital, how are you feeling?
You want to tell me what you're doing?
You were rushed to the hospital last night. You checked yourself out this morning.
Shoot, Emmett.
What do you want?
An exclusive.
Wow. So that's right, that's how he gets the exclusive. About what happened in Rosemont.
I'm convinced you saw more than you're saying.
Just say,
I
man.
didn't see anything.
But she's
Just like you
protecting her
didn't see
son,
what
so
your
of course
husband
she
was up
wouldn't.
to.
I wasn't up on the cliff. I was down on the beach. I saw a boat come in.
A boat came in, and a man
How
got
many
off.
people on board? Did you recognize the person who laid Danny's body on the beach?
Yes, you did.
I did. His name is Vince.
Yeah, nah, it's the same thing, and it's not going to
Works
be
with
him.
the boy's dad.
How did she misinterpret? Okay, so we're up to a point now where it's a good time to sort of just sort of lay out the foundation of what's going on. So, it's not even looking in Joe's direction right now, which is exactly the same as Broadchurch. Like, it wasn't until right near the end when they were like, boom, these things look a bit inconsistent. What does that mean? She said that she saw Vince take the body out to do this, that, the other. Does Vince? Maybe that's going to be my biggest critique. Because it seems a bit strange, because for a start, I don't even think Joe has got no hair. Like, yeah, maybe he's wearing a beanie, maybe that sort of differentiates it. But the more clothes they're wearing, the less likely you are to recognize them. How is she going to recognize it's her son? It doesn't click to me. It doesn't click to me. So, yeah, but anyway, that's happening. Susan's being cooperative. They're going to find the dog. It ultimately ends to nothing. From memory, it leads to absolutely nothing. Obviously, it leads to, you've got the appearance of the person who looks like him. Generally, we know it's a male, we know the certain height and potentially the same, body shape and da-da-da. We know all of that now. So it does refine the suspect list right down to the final couple of suspects, i.e. Mark and Joe and Paul. It really does refine it down. It's just a matter of, like, getting beyond this weird curve of, like, misassociating it as Nigel. Like, I remember, like, Nigel, the thing is, right, I remember in Broadchurch, like, they continued that plot on season 2 as well. Like, could it have been someone else? Like, was it not Joe? Because Joe pleaded not guilty, Now, I will say this. I can't say this without any bias, so I don't know if this statement is completely accurate, but from, like, my general view of this episode or the show so far, I'm actually, personally, I find it hard to figure out who it is. Obviously, I'm thinking it's Joe because I know it was Joe in Broadchurch, but I'm looking at this thinking, if I had watched this first, how guilty does everyone look? Like, I remember in Broadchurch feeling like certain people looked a little bit guilty, but they always looked guilty around certain things. Like, you never felt certain of someone. It could be any of them. Like, they all seem equally suspicious. Is that just me that sort of, I don't know. Maybe it's just the bias of me trying to sort of predict what the changes are, if there are any changes, Because the thing is, right, hindsight can be good in the sense that, like, you can predict things, but at the same time, it can really mess with the way you do predict things. Like, it can really sort of screw your idea or your thought process up, because everything is sort of biased by the whole Joe Miller thing,
I don't know her.
What's with that tattoo?
Let me see your arms, Vince.
You want to see my arms?
Your tattoos. Take your shirt off.
Oh, has he got some sort of tattoo to do with Danny? Is that what he means by Danny's on his arm? Bro, that's so weird, oi. What the hell?
You spent a lot of time with Danny?
Yeah, he was my friend's son, so...
Yeah, your friend who called in, who said you took his son hunting without his parents' permission. Did you take Danny out hunting the night he died? No. Did you kill Danny Solano? Did you use the butt of your rifle and smash his head
I
in?
would never do that.
Oh.
Why would I kill my friend's son?
You tell me.
To be fair, why would Joe? You know, why would Joe? Exactly the same logic. Why would
What she
Joe?
got to harass you about?
When you took home that skateboard, did you know he had made it?
Yeah.
She kept saying that I
See, that makes sense, right? It kind of makes sense.
we
The motive.
needed each other.
I'm a mom too, and I'm sure whatever my child did, I would want to protect him.
I am protecting him.
She's scared
Don't
of
you
him.
get that?
These are people's lives you're screwing with. I should file a complaint.
Go ahead. Add it to the list. I'll sign it. Vince is our prime suspect. He had a weapon. The call from last night telling us a light was on at the hut. The trace came back. It's Danny's cell.
Danny's cell was turned on. You see,
Taylor called in.
Why would they do that?
they wait for it to turn back on and then boom.
You just stumbled across it? Happens a lot these days.
I was on my way home. That's the route I take.
So he's
Why,
given
did he
he's
destroy
given
it while
Emmett
he
the
was trying to get
laptop,
rid of?
and they're gonna
I tried
recover
to get
it.
him to tell me. Tom threatened to tell you that I hit Danny if I handed this over.
And did you hit Danny?
I did not.
Quick and discreet. Things are complicated.
And he
How are you
keeps.
with
Doesn't he keep this from
damaged hard
Ellie?
drives?
He does, doesn't he? He keeps everything from Ellie at this point because he knows that it could be leading in a direction she won't be happy with.
If you don't tell them that you lied, as soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna slit your dog's throat, and then I'm gonna come after you. You understand me?
You've got him in you. It was you I
Shoot,
saw
man.
that night. It was you.
It wasn't actually him, was it? God almighty.
Renee thinks you're hiding something, that there's more to the story.
Don't they like, hold on a second, let me just say, I'm pretty sure from memory, he tells them everything. He says like, the person, so there was evidence, blah, 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 it was in someone's car, and then it was his wife, right, or his partner, and she knocked off with someone else on the job. He decided to, like, he took the blame because, like, it was supposed to be him or something, wasn't it? I can't remember, but it wasn't his fault at all, and he's suffering, because I remember that thinking, like, what could he have done? He seems so proficient. And it wasn't him. How could you not know?
Back then, in your own house. How could you not know?
You see, I told you, man. I told you.
Your husband, your child.
And then it will be her husband. That is literally a perfect setup.
She was having an affair with one of the other detectives on the team. They thought they'd celebrate.
Renee's coverage, all the papers. They said it was you
You.
who lost the evidence.
Took the blame, man.
Happened on my watch.
Absolutely mental.
Right, but that detective...
She was my wife. Do me a favor, tell the families first. Tell them I haven't given up on their daughters.
But I've got goosebumps. Ugh. There's the
Just please
truth.
don't name that detective. That's all I ask.
Do not name the detective, that's all I ask.
Can we borrow Tom's computer? Would you bring it in tomorrow?
Would she protect her son at all costs? That's the question.
What do you do all day?
What do you do all day?
That's my sister.
God almighty. I mean, she confirms the whole...
You got it?
She saw Nigel, or whatever his name is, right?
I saw a man with a wool hat come
Wait.
around the side carrying something heavy wrapped in a tarp.
Hold on a second.
I didn't see his face.
Whoa! Bro! Imagine that's the difference. I'm sitting here thinking, no, Joe, it has to be Joe again. And I still think it is. Why would Joe have a Solano plumbing truck?
But it was definitely his van.
It wasn't Mark.
Vince.
I know who drives that van.
But that's the thing, could Vince have been involved somehow? And is that how they're gonna shape this? I don't know, man. And there's the whole Danny tattoo thing. Holy shoot. Okay, my theories have just been completely catapulted sky high. Again, thanks a lot, Gracepoint. Now, where do I start? I don't know where to start, because going into this episode, right, I'm thinking, it's Joe. It's not going to be anyone but Joe. I'm almost certain of it. And it's just going to continue to confirm my theories along the way, and I'm not going to have any problems, and I'm not going to be changing my theory. It's set and stone. I could not have been more wrong. And the reason I say that is because come the end of this episode, I don't know. I am utterly and completely clueless as to what this means. Now, there is a massive deviation from Broadchurch. Massive. And that is Nigel, aka, I think his name's Vince in this one, and his contribution to this case. Now, in Broadchurch, right, we knew Nigel was dodgy, we knew he had his things going on, but he never really had anything more to the case other than the fact that he was like associated with what's her name? Mrs. Grumpy Lady, as they called her in Broadchurch. Susan Wright, there we go. And you know, there was that whole connection. That was all that was there. There was nothing else there for him, right? The thing that gets me is, one, he has a tattoo of Danny's name on his arm. A little bit romantic when you think about it, or romantic, not on the generic romantic kissy partners term. Romanticized, so it could be like a family member, you know what I'm trying to say, right? It could have been close to Danny, but that is looking a little bit more than a close relationship, isn't it? That's looking more in the realm of like, you know, the same thing Joe was doing. You know how Joe had that weird connection with Danny, like it was like this weird emotional romantic connection, like love interest almost. Not quite the pedophilic in the sense that he wasn't doing anything yet, but it was leading that way. So we've got that plotline which majorly deviates. Then there's the whole size 10 shoe thing that fits with Vince. All of it is pointing towards Vince, except, and I say except, this is the spanner in the works, right? So if I didn't know this other detail and the hindsight of Joe seeing Ellie, Joe freaking out, running out of the cabin, running off, if I didn't know that, I'm not sure I would be completely confident. I would probably be predicting Vince. But because I know that, why would Vince lure them to the hut, and then run off? Although he didn't lure them, did he? He could have just been there covering up evidence. So, you never know. That could be another plot line that's changed. We don't know whether he lured them there, or, although there was something to do with Danny's phone had been switched on. You see, my brain's everywhere. It could literally be that he saw Ellie and ran off, or he was, whoever else it was covering up and saw both of them and then ran off, the police, generically, right? It could be either or. That's what I'm saying. I don't know for the life of me. My bet is still with Joe because of all the secrecy and the hidden stuff and the fact that he's had zero investigation whatsoever, and it's going to be like that whole like thing with Susan saying, how could you not know, it's like all going to be connected again. My theory still lies there, but the point of the matter is this whole Vince thing is way more complicated than expected. And another thing as well, I don't think there was anything to do with a Solano van in Broadchurch. Like, I remember she looked out her window in her house in Broadchurch and saw a bald man putting bags of stuff into a public bin, like clothes. That's the difference. This is different because she's literally seen someone with a Solano van carrying a body out from some forestry area. And you know what that leads me to believe when you think about this, right? You know how I sort of said that it could be Mark, and like the whole misleading thing could be like it's Joe or it's Mark, and it could be Mark in the sense that if Danny saw him with you know who, Danny sort of brings it up, he could have done something, you know? There could have been this whole big conversation, or because why would Joe have a Solano van? That is another massive spanner I can't get around I'm dead excited for this next episode. I will say that now. 3 prime suspects, and I have no idea. As much as I still think it's Joe, I don't know. Rhymes. Anyway, I'm going to probably watch the last one. I'm going to sign that off. This is ending up being quite a long outro, and I'll leave the massive talking to the next episode and the end of the next episode. So, if you enjoyed this video and the extended outro, and probably a very long reaction, don't forget as ever to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for new content every single week. And as ever, don't forget to follow that Instagram, guys, British Chap 2P's, link is in the description below. And of course, as ever, let me know down below what you thought of this episode, the reaction, all the deviations, and don't hesitate to like talk about the ending. I will let you know in the comments if I've seen the last one, but I probably will have watched the last one by the end of this weekend. So, let me know down below, guys. Happy to get some discussion going. But you guys, it's so good to be back. As ever, this has been your boy, British Chap. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh.